catching up.
Oh, I should probably flip the monitor back towards
that would help. Because I'm so narcissistic, I have to see myself. Hi, me. Look at you, sexy devil. Oh, and there's Graham. Not as sexy, but just as devilish. Am I right? Anyway, so this is my attempt to desperately try to catch up with the millions of movies I still have to catch up on.
And thankfully, even though we saw this, I had seen this.
Yeah, you saw this when I was on vacation in Seattle, and I was gonna see it while I was there, but it wasn't playing at the theater I was going to, so I saw Battle of the Sexes instead, which I just reviewed recently with Sarah.
Yeah, how was that? I heard it was good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be my top 10 list, but I think for what it is, it's pretty good.
You know what else is gonna be on the top 10 list?
What? Yeah. I mean, like, who could have saw that coming?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Pepsi. Jesus. This movie's so mediocre, I burp.
Hello,
makes me
Pepsi,
gush.
my old friend.
Anyway, so yeah, happy Death Day. It's okay. Yeah, like it's perfectly serviceable.
Yeah,
for what it is.
Didn't really take the premise as far as I would have liked.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking too. Like you could have done more with this. Yeah. It wears its Groundhog's Day influence on its sleeve. Even references it at the very end.
Yeah.
A very like wink, wink. This is based on Groundhog Day. Do you get it? Wink. Yes, I do, but I also want to see her die for millions of years, just like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, what was they said? It probably took place over like 10 years or something like that. No, 100 years.
100 years, like possibly even longer.
Well, because Harold Ramis actually gave an exact amount.
Did he?
Yeah.
I know somebody did the math, like how long it would take to master a skill, and based on how many skills he masters by the time the movie's over.
Well, yeah, that's how many you could actually legit account for based on all the scenes in there. But, I'll look it up later.
Yeah, it's not important right now.
Just really fascinating.
Yeah, it's Groundhog's Day really did, like, that was like the first one to do that concept, and it did it perfectly. Like, it did everything it possibly could have, and nothing could have done to make it better, in my opinion.
Except for at that scene where they, like, legit destroyed the place.
Which scene?
Oh, there was a scene where, this pissed off Bill Murray, by the way, was they'd spent a shit ton of time, like, destroying this room and rebuilding it. Like, legit destruction.
Okay.
To, like, emphasize, like, how insane he went. To, like, try and test this out.
Yeah.
And that scene got cut.
Ah. Okay, so one thing that could have done different.
Yeah. It's like, on the one hand, that kind of, the stuff is already emphasized well enough, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, this one, if you've seen the trailer, this looked like a movie that they didn't really know how to advertise, because it is kind of a weird blend.
Of, like, horror comedy. Kind of akin to Evil Dead 2.
A little bit. Not as fun as Evil Dead 2. There's no dismembered hand giving, like, Bruce Campbell the finger. Which every time I think of that, I think of just some weird horror macabre Tom and Jerry. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, so I got IMDb out just so I can keep an eye on, like, who the hell the characters were.
Yeah, because you saw it a few weeks ago. So
yeah.
And I only saw it, like, yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, or yesterday the day before. So it's still fairly fresh in my head. But the whole thing is basically this one woman who's just this obnoxious, pretty white blonde girl mentality of the world owes me everything and I owe everyone nothing kind of thing going.
Thankfully, they did also kind of give a reason for why she was particularly bitchier around that time. So
true,
like, that's something. But
she seemed you can tell this is not the first time she's acted this way.
Yeah.
And it's okay because everyone along her little clan are just catty bitches.
Yeah.
Until like it's her birthday, and that night some guy in like I guess like their mascot mask, which is a creepy baby for some reason, just decides first off, the main woman right off the bat makes the dumbest mistakes.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a creepy music box playing in the middle of this empty tunnel surrounded by traffic signals that should very clearly indicate you should not go in there.
Yeah.
And what do? You go in there, and when you have the murderer, like, dead to rights, oh, look, a noise behind me. Let me look at that for a second. Stab.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you really deserve to die. That's like the first, I don't know, 15 minutes of the movie is when that takes place, where it's basically the setup. Like this movie got a lot better when it stopped taking itself seriously.
Yeah, like I'd say once it got to the montage.
The montage was great. That one was like, all right, that's legitimately funny. So like it's like the murder mystery, like the kind of whodunit kind of thing, which raises more questions than it ultimately answers.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, like, I remember we were talking, like, I somehow guessed it right at the beginning. But there was another clue that kind of gave it away.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that when we get there. I made my first initial guess, and I was wrong. I'll admit, because I was running on Scooby-Doo logic, in that, well, he's the first one to pop up on screen.
Yeah.
And he's the only one not actively made a suspect. It's probably Old Man Jenkins.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so...
Yeah, I'm not going to say who it is or where it happens.
I mean, like, chances are, this is like 3 weeks after the movie's been out, so you've probably already seen... If you haven't seen the movie already...
Yeah, we'll spoil the killer later, but when they first see that killer, they play the song Don't Fear the Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
That was another little use of...
Yeah, I should have got that. But I didn't.
Yeah.
I missed it. I'm a failure.
Like, I will also admit, though, there was one of the person I had in my head that was like my number 2.
Yeah, it's always like whenever it's always a movie draws suspicion on somebody. Your first thought is like, well, it can't be that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got Murder on Orient Express next week, so maybe I don't know if that'll carry over to that one. Which I'm really looking forward to that one, by the way.
Yeah,
that one's gonna be fun.
I'm surprised the reviews aren't as great as they are, but I'm still really wanting to see it. I was like, it's Kenneth Branagh directing this movie with this fucking awesome cast.
It looks fun. That's all I really care about. It's like, well, it's not as good as the original. It's probably what a lot of it is.
Actually, yeah, it is.
Yeah, if you're going by that route, it's like, well, fuck off. Have fun. You know, it doesn't need to always be as good or better than the original. As long as it's entertaining, who cares?
Yeah. Which I also really want to see just because of the cast in there.
Yeah. So, that's next week. So, basically, whenever she dies, she wakes up that day and she spends it trying to figure out, basically narrow down the list of suspects on who it could have been. It could have been her bitchy sorority sister who is househead who just this is why I never liked. This is why I'm so glad I always avoided like fraternities and shit, because I don't get it. I doubt this is a fair representation, but either way, it's like, I don't get it. Yeah. Why do you guys make such a big deal out of this shit? None of this fucking matters. It could have been like her stalker Tim, who apparently went on one date with her and then like just became obsessive about it. But she's not interested. Could have been
her roommate.
Which, spoiler alert, it turns out that's the case.
Yeah. I was like, wonder if Dad might actually just have gone off the deep end or something.
Yeah, like I was kind of wondering that too.
Like that, he was my number 2.
Yeah, that thought crossed my mind. I was kind of like, maybe I'd have a lot of questions though. It does seem like a red herring this kind of movie would pull, like something like a with the twist like this movie would pull.
It did do a red herring though. That's the thing.
That twist pissed me off.
Yeah. Like I am so glad they. It's like
they MacGuffined it, but I was so pissed off at first.
Yeah, because it's like they're saying it's like, oh, it's this killer that we didn't talk about at all before. I was like, where?
No, yeah, because they do this whole twist where it turns out she realized like, oh no, the killer must have been this crazy guy who was locked in this hospital but somehow escaped, and he's the one that's been killing me every time because that makes sense.
Yeah. I was like, but then it's like, wait, how did you get? Then when I thought that was like, why would you be specifically following her? You don't even know who that is, and that's the thing. I was like, no, it's gotta be bullshit.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because so now the identity's revealed. Now suddenly he's a Chatty Cathy. What the hell?
Yeah.
So, like that. I'm glad that wasn't the final twist. I still thought it was dumb as shit, though.
Does that mean that he still escapes in the final timeline, or is that only just because because the nurse is the one that kind of set things up?
Yeah. Because the roommate plays a nurse, or is a nurse, and apparently freezes serial killer as a cover because I don't know if that cover ever actually plays out. Now I think about it.
Presumably it does because yeah, he is the one that kills her most of the time.
Even though realistically, the police ought to do was find the birthday card that was in her room that had the little thing that says "Live like there's no tomorrow."
No, that was the the dorky guy's banner. No, wait, that was
No. Remember, she gets like birthday cards in the black envelope.
Yeah.
That says "Party now" because there's no tomorrow. Messy laugh.
That was the other thing. It was like, that birthday card was in. That was another thing. That's like right at the bat. It's like, that was in her room.
Yeah. Well, like, didn't they say that like someone brought it in the mail or something like that?
Something like that. But even then, it's like, it was before then.
Yeah.
And, and the other reason why I figured that it was her was because, like, you should take the day off. It's like, who else is going to know that she's going to be in there?
Yeah, that was something that bugged me too. That's why I thought, like, originally I thought it was the love interest in the movie. Because I was like, well, of all the people, he'd be the one that, like, assuming he's the one that started this whole time loop thing, he'd be the only one that know where she was at any given time.
Yeah.
Because somehow, despite wherever she goes, the killer always finds her. I'm like, what the hell? How do you always know where she is?
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, the thing where she, like, locks herself in a room, that was the one that cinched it for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see that.
Because, I mean, well, it's the fact that she's already in there waiting for her, I mean.
Yeah. So, that, in some respects, it makes sense. In other sense, it doesn't, because I'm thinking, like, well, how the hell does she know where she goes when she's, like, trying to narrow down the list of suspects and who killed her to begin with?
That one still bugged me.
Because, like, so, how did she know? She just, she has some magical voodoo powers. That's why I thought it was the boyfriend. It's like, well, assuming he set this whole thing up, like, the whole time loop thing, he would be the one to know. But no, that wasn't it. I was wrong.
Yeah.
No, let's talk about both our favorite parts in the movie, which is the montage. So what happens early on in the movie is she finally, during one of her death rebirth things, she finally basically explains everything to Carter, who's the guy whose dorm room she keeps waking up in. And he just goes like, well, since you just have unlimited lives, why don't you use those time to figure out who's trying to kill you? Maybe then it'll stop. It's like, okay. So then it cuts to a montage of her just stalking and watching everyone to see kind of what, like, to figure out who it is. And it led to some great what the fuck moments. Namely, when she comes out in full camouflage.
Yeah.
With night vision goggles, which she has apparently.
Also, it's the fact that she's getting killed to, like, this pop music.
Yeah.
Where she's like, it's so cheery, just like, it made it ridiculous in the right way.
Oh yeah, and just all of a sudden, like, it's like, no, it's not her, it's suddenly killer. Blah!
Yeah, and just like, tackles her into the fountain. Boom!
Or the other great one where she's like she's stalking the stalker. Ironically, it turns out he's watching gay porn on his laptop, and again, it's all done like in a montage. She doesn't hear her say anything, but she has a face like, "Aww."
Yeah. And then she turns around, just gets stabbed, just
like, "Oh, son of a."
Yeah. And she looks down, it's like, "Oh."
And like it's because like this. They could have done so much more with the concept than they inevitably did, because it felt like it still had to follow these slasher movie tropes.
Yeah.
Towards the end, it's like, no, you could have. I wanted to see a montage of her just learning, I don't know, Taekwondo or something.
Yeah.
Like any kind of self-defense thing at all. Rather than, I'm just gonna grab a hammer and hope for the best of fucking luck.
That's why I gotta show you, I can't remember if I showed you Rope-a-Dope, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
kind
of like that.
Yeah, kind of similar thing, where it's like, I was expecting her to like learn how to use chainsaws and know how to punch something, or something along those lines, but that never happens disappointingly. Once the montage kind of ends, it kind of falls back into more slasher territory.
Although it still had some pretty decent moments.
It did.
Like, when she gets arrested, that was a good moment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. Wait, so if I say... Okay, so it's a little condescending. So...
She escapes.
No, like, after multiple dines, apparently, it turns out it takes a long-term toll on her body, because, sure. And she passes out and wakes up in the hospital, and the killer hunts for her in the hospital, so she panics, steals, like, the doctor boyfriend who has a wife that she's
Dr. Grey's Anatomy.
Dr. Grey's Anatomy. Steals his car and then takes off, and then after going like, "Woo, I did it!" immediately gets pulled over. Which it's a great punchline. I kind of wish it wasn't spoiled for me in the trailer though. But what thankfully was not in the trailer was what happens after. I think goes, "Are you any under substance there, miss?" He goes, "Wait, if I was, would that mean you have to arrest me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put me in a jail cell.
Yeah, that's generally how it works. I'm drunk.
Yeah. Also, I'm on drugs. I'm
Like
pot, PCP, you name it.
all the drugs. I am on
He's
that.
just like,
okay, step out of the car, please. Now, I don't know why he didn't believe her story to begin with. Like, that didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. It's like, she's in a hospital gown.
yeah.
How does he not figure something is a little off?
Yeah. But on that topic, though, the whole kind of waking up with bodily damage thing, though, I do kind of appreciate they had that in there just because that actually added stakes. It doesn't fully make sense.
Yeah, like, I said,
But
like,
at the
how
same
do
time,
the rules of this thing work?
yeah. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? It's like that gives that added stakes to the situation. It's like, because yeah, it's like if you don't die, then it's like, okay.
Well, that's when you kind of can make it to more just a straight up comedy again. Like Groundhog Day again is perfect as just like the epitome example of just like you can add stakes. I'd say like Groundhog Day still had stakes, mostly just as dwindling sanity. Or just like not even necessarily having stakes, so much as a scene where the journey takes you. Yeah, which can be interesting in itself.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a case where because it was like just straight up comedy, and you know, it had that interesting. By the way, I still can't believe Michael Shannon's in that movie.
Michael Shannon's in that movie?
He's the guy that gets married to the girl in the end.
Son of a bitch!
I know. I thought I was like Michael Shannon. Oh dear God, that's Michael Shannon.
Oh man, I really would. I'm missing some Shannon some Shannon rage right now. Like whenever I'm mad, I look up clips of him on YouTube. It makes me feel a little cathartic. But because like I just look up just like 2 scenes of him in Boardwalk Empire are enough to make me happy.
Thy will be done.
No, the one where have you seen his scenes in Boardwalk Empire?
I mean, I have not seen any of that show.
Well, like I haven't watched either. But I watched this scene because it's a great scene. He plays like an iron salesman, like door-to-door salesman, and one coworker he's like doing like role play, and one salesman just being a complete asshole to him. And he's getting more and more pissed off. And he goes, "Is that a vibrator in your head?" He goes, "No, ma'am. Psst, it's an iron." He gets getting more and more pissed off. And it grates him like, good. And then he ends with him, like the asshole going, "Well, if you pitch as bad as you screw, you bet your wife is screwing somebody else." And he goes, "Brah!" Shoves the iron in his face. And then it's like, he is the real life Hulk. This is the scene that convinced me he's the real life Hulk. Because he starts going, "Brah!" And starts like picking up desks and throwing them and shit.
Because the only bit I know, the only bit I know is where he's pretending to be like a Baptist who's just like drowning someone.
I have not seen that scene.
Oh shit! From what I've been told about it, it is great.
I'm sure it is. I'll look it up later.
It's the way he messes this person up, and the punchline is gold.
No, I'm really sad I didn't do more in that movie now. But anyway, that's what we're talking about. Oh yeah, twists. So another thing that kind of bugged me about Happy Death Day was the fact that it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. Let's assume she's died about, I don't know, 20 times in this movie. Each of those 20 times, a puny armed woman managed to overpower you all 20 of those times.
Well, to be fair, we also don't know how much of that was actually the killer. But still.
Presumably all of it. I mean, outside of like the 2 ones where it's like the other serial killer.
That's what I meant, by the other tombs, or whatever the hell his name is.
Well, didn't they say that it was her the entire time?
No, they said like... They said it sounded like it was some of the time. Like, if the killer... If she couldn't get the killer to her, then she'd be the one to do it. No, you're right. No, you're right. Because basically it's just she got him to escape, and
she's as a scapegoat.
Yeah, that's what it was. You're right. Never mind.
So that leads back to the point. Like, so this puny armed ass woman. Again, I feel like you could have just hit her on the head once with a hammer, and that would have been enough to put her down for good.
Nope. Nope.
Or again, just get like the biggest fuck off stick you can find, and just go wham as hard as you can.
Which she did kind of do at times.
And again, she got back up for some reason. This is not Jason Voorhees. This is a puny ass nursing student, or Michael Myers. This is a puny ass little nursing student. I don't know. who just repeatedly, like, what is she on? Is she on something? She's on all the drugs. That's her secret, that she's on all the drugs.
PCP, it's the magic.
Was that like the end of the sentence, or is there more to it?
I don't know. Let's just leave it that.
That's what PCP does to you, people.
I don't know. I just like the idea of like it's the magic, just like pot is the chronic.
Okay, see, there you go. That's the other half I was looking for. It's like that felt like the first half of a joke. Yeah. But anyway,
just remember, every drug has got to be the something.
Essentially, or unless you're Destiny, everything has to be the something.
Wait, what?
Have you ever played Destiny 1 or 2?
I played 5 minutes of the first one.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, and that kind of got my nerves after a while, where it's like, nothing is like, oh look, it's Jeffrey. It's like, no, they are like, you give some more, like, unnecessary grandiose, they are the fallen, or they are the looters, or or it's like, they're the annoying bug ones. Like, you guys take yourself way too seriously.
Sorry, also forgot to mention, there is the other thing kind of bugged me about those stakes, though.
Oh, yeah.
Conversely.
Okay.
Why did you have it affect her only that one time? And then after that...
Yeah, she seems fine the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they make a throwaway line that,
I feel like I'm getting weaker.
It's like really...
It doesn't look like it!
Yeah. Looks like you're doing fine. And I get why they did that, because, again, to add stakes to the whole thing. So, like, again, compare...
It's kind of lazily implemented.
You kind of have to compare it to Groundhog Day, and just saying, like, well, that kind of shows you don't really need that, because the journey can be interesting enough without necessarily having to go balls to the wall. Again, it could just be you just lose your fucking mind and just start stabbing everyone on the campus.
It felt like it was just an excuse to have that hospital scene / arrest scene happen.
Yeah. I mean, the arrest scene was pretty funny, but at the same time, like, yeah, I'm like, kind of like, you could have done without that, really, because it doesn't add really a whole lot to it. Yeah. And it doesn't really accumulate to anything.
Yeah. I mean, it does kind of create that rhythm of a temporary victory. Because you gotta have, like, you gotta have the ups and downs. And that was a fairly good up, just to have it...
Yeah. It just didn't really go anywhere. So I would almost preferred it if they just actually spent more time. Honestly, more montages would have been great. Because you can tell that's when they're having the most fun. Yeah, just need more montages. Just need more of just them taking advantage of the concept. Yeah. And just having more fun with it. Yeah. Rather than just inevitably conforming to just standard, like, Scream-esque tropes. Yeah. Which ironically made fun of this genre that it's now become a parody of itself.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, though, overall, though, the movie was still a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's entertaining. For what it is, it's entertaining. That's why it's, like, it's not great. It's not terrible. It's... For what it is, it's good. Yeah. It's a matinee.
Yeah. Thank you, Movie Pass.
Or Movie Pass. Yeah. Although apparently I had to pay full price for this one because the people in line could not get their shit together. He's got those people like, I want this one. You can't have that seat, but I want this seat. You can't have... Sir? I don't think you know how this works. A lot of idiots in line. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the whole reserve seating thing.
Yeah, it was for Thor, because everyone's going to go see that in IMAX, I guess. And like, you have reserved seating. Where do all the gray ones mean? They mean those are the taken ones. But what do they mean? It means you can't have them.
It means someone else is sitting there as we speak.
Yeah. Well, I want that's gray, sir. I'm exaggerating, but I'm not entirely unconvinced that didn't happen at some point.
Kind of like how I had someone who, when I was getting gas, I heard them overtake about it. I was like, oh, look, they slow down. It's like, look, they slow down the amount of gas you're getting, Because, and it's like, no, it's just the rate. That is true, by the way.
I believe you. I 100% believe you.
Just like, oh, no. You do realize the rate that is being paid is tied to the cast. So both things are slowing down. Oh, God. I forgot about that, too, until
like,
just now.
Dummy, you're such a dummy. You're so stupid. It's like, I can't ask any questions right now because they're rhetorical and end with the word idiot.
But, yeah, eventually she finds out the girl was the killer, and because she realizes that apparently... She finds out because after she killed the killer, or the fake killer, scapegoat killer, she woke up repeating the same day again.
In one of the 3 movie endings.
Yeah. And then she was like, wait, the cupcake was poisoned!
Dun dun dun!
And then the fight ensues, and she tackles her out a window.
Yeah, in a very just almost, I don't know, like Jackie Chan-esque way. It's like, oh, now the fighting skills come in. Because apparently that chandelier can hold up her weight. Actually, it probably could. She looked pretty tiny.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, I remember there were some funny moments in there. I just can't really remember much of them.
Mostly it was just like catchphrase and then just pushing her out the window.
Yeah. And thankfully the character does get more likable as
yeah, no, like it was as far as the story arc goes, like the actress did perfectly fine.
Yeah. I do love how like all the stuff that she did to fix everything just kind of like
just completely ran out the window.
Just like the killer. But yeah, it was like, well, you might need to fix that all up again. Yeah, you're good.
When God closes a door, he opens a window. But when he fails at that, I'll open it for you.
Yeah.
Crash.
God opens a window so he can take your soul.
That's a good one. My favorite one was like, well, when God opens the door, God closes the door, he opens a window. Yeah, something we can jump out of.
What was that from again?
That was an old movie that my family, I think it was called Gifted.
Oh. Because I remember that line.
It was some movie about, I don't even, it was Gifted or Blessed or something like that. It was about some heavily Christian woman who gets knocked up, and then a bunch of shenanigans happen because of it. It was some crappy romantic comedy that my family watched, and I happened to be in the room.
I was like, because when you say I was thinking of Bless the Child. That's why I was getting.
No, not that. It's an old movie. I say at least like 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, put a gun in my head. I cannot tell you what the full name was called. But yeah, so I can't really think of what else to talk about. You got anything else for this one?
Not really. Like I said, it's above average, not by a huge margin, but it's at least entertaining, and I at least got that, so I'm not mad.
Yeah, neither am I. Like I'm glad I went on my way to see it. Finally,
and like
if only just so I could say I saw it.
Yeah. And thankfully the fun outweighed the problems we had with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I found the first like 15 minutes kind of annoying, but once it got past that, I was like, okay, I'm having fun now. I'm okay with this.
Yeah. What trailers did you get?
Oh, I don't know. This is one of those movies where I was like, I didn't really bother to write them down.
Fair enough.
Because what trailers did you get? Do you remember?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it didn't really matter too much to me. So for this,
I'm pretty sure the only one I remember getting was Jigsaw, and yeah.
I still gotta see that one too.
Oh, you poor bastard.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm already decided I'm skipping Geostorm at this point because it's not really worth going through.
No.
I know. But just a reminder, guys. If there's any movie that I couldn't see because of time constraints or whatever, because I know I missed a lot this year. Just ask me, and I'll check it out when I add to my list of catch-up movies.
We go to Blue Light Cinemas, but they're gone now.
Is Blue Light gone?
Yeah.
When did they close down?
Like within the past week, I think.
Oh.
If they didn't, they're closing down like this month.
That sucks.
From what I heard, someone else is buying it, but I don't know what the hell's happening to it. Like it's being rebooted as another theater, or if it's just going to be something else. Well, either way, I'm not happy.
Either way, if this movie wants to see, want me to see at least, and I just didn't have time to go see it, just send me a message or a comment or whatever, and I'll add to my list of things to see. And I'll make sure we get to it before we make the list at the end of the year. Just so we can say whether it's best or the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there's that. Speaking of which, I think we have a few movies next week.
Yeah, let me double check.
We got Murder on the Orient Express.
Yay!
Daddy's Home 2.
Oh! Oh!
How bad? So you shitting me? Oh, wow. Well, I'm really glad Wes has already agreed to see that one.
Ooh! What? Three billboards outside,
yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Mayhem.
I don't know what you meant.
Action movie with Steven Yeun.
Oh. I can't promise that one. But, yeah, so 3 billboards, Daddy's Home 2, and Murder on the Orient Express.
I am seeing 3 billboards because I fucking love
Woody Harrelson?
No, I do love him though. But the director, Martin McDonagh.
What else has he done?
7 Psychopaths. In
oh right. Love In Bruges. In Bruges is great. You're an inanimate fucking object.
Followed by a quick edit to an apology. It's like that is just brilliant editing.
I'm sorry, I called you an inanimate object. I was just upset. Remember, I just love the notes too. It's like, just gotta get the fucking job. I did one fucking thing. What about the fucking phone? You can't do away with the fucking phone. What fucking worth are you?
No, what was the other bit I liked? Yeah. What was that? I can't remember the context. Like, there's this lollipop man that, yeah. Where's the lollipop man know karate? I know he knows karate. How old is he? About 80. What's an 80-year-old? What's a fucking 80-year-old lollipop man who knows karate?
Oh yeah. I think my favorite was just from the like, oh, you can't get up there. It's too many stairs. Well, yeah. Why is that a problem? Well, you're fat.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll get you. Starts running around like just runs off screen, runs back on screen. Like, you're not gonna get me, fatty. Colin Firth has been a tremendous great asshole.
And then you find out that guy had a heart attack. Like,
yeah, yeah. Or even then it's like, or is it like, well, I can't shoot you now if you just said all that, can I? And he's like, well, I'm sorry. Like, well, yeah, I know. Bang! Oh, what the hell? Well, I can't kill you, but I can still shoot you.
Yeah. Gotta watch that movie again.
It's so good. It's on. I think it's on Netflix.
I have it on Blu-ray actually.
Oh, do you? Yeah. I know it's on Netflix right now. So go watch In Bruges. So yeah, we'll see with whatever we got going on next week. So see you guys later.
Bye.